It's the Homeowners Show. Welcome to another live podcast here at Sawyer Park Icehouse. We are here with the net, and we are living it up right. Tonight, we are meeting with lots of entrepreneurs, business owners, and operators, and we're going to bring you all the best information and options for you in your home. So glad you guys could join us for another episode. While we are not in the studio, we're going to do the best that we can out here in the noisy Icehouse arena and get it knocked out for you guys tonight. Hopefully you can, if you can't be here, hopefully you can join us online. It's going to be a good time. Hopefully you're hearing all the good times that are happening behind us. And we're going to kick things off tonight. We got two special guests. But before we get to those guests, I want to go ahead and thank our sponsors. Thank you to Star Appliance Repair. You can reach them at 936-647-2364. They are the best appliance repair company in the land. You can text them, give them a call. Guys, they're going to be honest with you. They keep all the parts in stock, so you're not having to sit and wait while your repair needs to be done. While your refrigerator gets hot, they're going to get it fixed. They're going to get it taken care of. And honestly, it's just going to be cheaper than going out and buying a new one. And with all these tariffs coming through, while you may think they're a great thing, they're going to make your appliances way more expensive. So right now it's going to be cheaper to get your appliances repaired. Give them a call, 936-647-2364. We also want to thank our other sponsor, True Texas Solar and Roofing. You can reach them at 936-286-8325. They are your one-stop shop for solar and roofing. You can get complete energy independence by giving them a call. They can get you set up with solar. They can get you set up with a whole home generator. They can get you set up with a whole home battery, and they're going to get you off the grid as much as you legally can be and get you set up right. They can also inspect your roof and make sure that it's set up for those solar panels to be put on right. Give them a call, 936-286-8325. And right now tonight we got two guys sitting down with us that are actually in the roofing industry themselves. We're gonna get into all of it tonight, and you know, who knows? It could be we didn't even talk about what we could talk about. We're going to talk about everything, I guess. So why don't you guys let everybody know who you are and what it is that you guys do?
Yeah, so my name is Wilder Titus. I'm a co-owner of Ryan's Roofing, and we're based out of League City, Texas.
And you are?
I'm Alex Johnson, sales manager for Ryan's Roofing.
Yeah, you might hold the record for like deepest voice we've ever had on the podcast.
Thank you.
Well, so give me an idea. Like, you guys are down in League City. I mean, it's a little bit closer to the coast than we are. I imagine the roofing business stays a little busier than it does up in here. What do you guys feel like your specialty is? I mean, what is it you guys do better than anybody else?
So I think my specialty is personally, so I used to work for State Farm. I was an adjuster. So I think I bring that edge to the table that I can tell you within 10 minutes whether your house is going to be approved by insurance. You know, a lot of roofing companies out here, you know, when they meet the adjuster, it's kind of up in the air. They're not sure if it's going to be approved or not. But based on the experience that I have at State Farm, which is the strictest insurance, that kind of gives me an edge when I'm going into battle with it.
Yeah. So you're the guy that's used to being yelled at while you're on the property.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Yes, basically.
So, I mean, I know that, because you come from the insurance world, to me that's helpful because I know that insurance is drastically changing in Texas.
It is. Yes,
you know, are you guys anticipating that? Like, what are you guys thinking? For those of you that don't know, I don't know about all insurance in Texas, but I do know that, like, probably within the next 5 years, roofs are going to be a whole separate insurance policy. They're getting rolled out of regular homeowners insurance. Mm-hmm. It's just not going to be a thing anymore.
Yeah.
So, what are you guys doing to kind of prepare for that? What do you guys think about that?
So what we're kind of doing to think about that is basically when we go to a home, regardless if we actually do the replacement or not, we're making them aware of the policies that the insurance is looking for.
Okay.
So, you know, even if there might not be enough damage on the roof to get a replacement, we're telling them basically this is what your insurance is looking for. So, you know, when they call us, obviously we're going to be ready to do the work.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we go against that.
Yeah. And how much of what you guys are even doing is insurance?
So I would say about
some stuff in behind you. So sorry if it.
You're good.
There's not a shadow falling over me. It's Sorry, go ahead.
No, I would say about 40% is insurance. We're actually trying to get more into commercial because if we can avoid insurance, obviously it's a good thing because, you know, I used to work in insurance. I know how hard it is to go against your insurance agent and all that. And another thing that stands out about Ryan's Roofing is we actually have a 90% success rate because even if the insurance says no, we go after them. Because if we believe our homeowners have been unfairly treated, we go after them when other roofers will just move on to the next one.
Yeah, what does that mean? And when you say that you go after them, what sort of recourse does a roofer have? Like, obviously you've been an adjuster, so you know how to work that relationship a little bit. So how does that actually work?
So basically, there's a lot of adjusters out there, even when I used to work at State Farm, that, for example, there's guys out there that if it would take too long, if they're just not good people, they would deny claims just based on because they don't want to do any paperwork.
Right.
So basically what I'm saying, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but there are times where an adjuster will say there's no damage, and I can see it from the adjuster side and the roofing side, and I can say, hey, the way State Farm does it is if you have over 50% damage, you get a roof replacement.
Okay.
Anything below that is you're just going to get a repair. Mm-hmm. So basically what I do is I vouch for the insured that doesn't know anything, and I bring to the table my insurance experience to get them the roof if it's warranted. It doesn't happen all the time, but most roofers will be like, oh, there's insurance ain't paying for it, we're going to the next one. Like, I make sure my customers are treated fairly when the insurance won't treat them.
Yeah,
very well.
you're sticking up for them.
Yes, essentially.
Like
yeah.
having the conversation, not just backing down immediately because they say no.
Pretty much.
I
Yes,
got
sir.
you. So, I mean, like on that end, then, I mean, you were with State Farm.
Yes.
So, I mean, from your experience, I mean, how long have you been doing this, by the way?
So I've actually been I'm a co-owner. I've been the owner for 3 years with the co-owner. The company's been in business for 7 years. He did it 4 years without me, and then the last 3 with me.
Uh-huh.
And I was an adjuster for 2 years before this.
Okay. How long you been out this?
So I've been this for a little under a year now. I'm prior military. So,
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
What branch were you in?
I was Air Force.
Air Force.
Yeah,
What were you
I
doing
worked
over
on
there?
F-35s as a maintainer.
Okay. Where were you stationed?
I was stationed over in Hill.
Where?
Hill in Utah.
Okay.
But then I went everywhere. I mean, I went to Japan, Guam, Jordan.
Oh, sweet, dude. Well, my cousin's a drone pilot with the Air Force out in Vegas right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Are you familiar with what's going on with those guys right now?
Not the drone pilots themselves, no. I work with the 35s, 22s, and B-2s, all the 5th gen just manned aircraft fighters.
Yeah.
And the B-2's a bomber, obviously, but...
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll circle back around to the insurance.
No,
This is just interesting to me. So I was having drinks with a couple of pilots, drone pilots.
Yep.
And their beef with the Air Force right now is they're going to do a career in the Air Force. They've been sort of pigeonholed into the drone program, which is an extremely valuable program to the Air Force.
Definitely.
Outside of the Air Force,
That
has next to no value.
Exactly.
For that job experience. And they don't even leave with like any sort of hours in the air.
Yeah, no flight
Even
hours.
though
nothing
like
that.
they're literally flying drones for like 12 hours at a time, but they can't fly a commercial.
Yeah, it's dumb. It's very, very dumb.
I don't know what to do with it. I mean, it's like
I've known quite a few people that cross-trained from that career field into maintainer because it was just like, what's the point? Because after the fact, maintainers, one of the options for me was to go work for Boeing or something like that and go work on aircraft and continue that. But like you said with them and the drone pilots, they get next to nothing outside of the Air Force. And it's kind of sad. I mean, if you have a career in the military, of course, follow that, do that. But within outside the Air Force, why are you doing it?
Yeah, and like my cousin that went in, I mean, he went in with a pilot's license.
Yeah.
And still, he's not getting any experience as a pilot, even though he's flying
Can't
aircraft.
Get his flight hours up and nothing.
And more sophisticated aircraft. And
yes.
If you know anything about the drones that the Air Force fly, more sophisticated than most of the airplanes. So it's I don't get it. But anyway, on the insurance side of things, like what is one of the toughest ones to deal with right now, at least in Texas? Because I know all of them are changing their policies. They're changing the way that they do things. And I don't want you to speak bad about anybody.
You're good.
But which one's the hardest one that you found to deal with lately?
I would say, so obviously I worked for State Farm for 2 years. The other co-owner, he actually worked for Allstate. So I would say most people say State Farm.
He's shaking his head.
Allstate.
State Farm and Allstate, I would say, in my opinion, are probably the hardest. And I feel like most of the country would agree that State Farm and Allstate are the hardest to get bought by.
Is State Farm the one that just recently pulled out of California?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because all the wildfires, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. That one bugged me a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
Not because I wasn't mad at State Farm at all.
Yeah.
I was mad at the people who were mad at State Farm that hadn't been listening to what State Farm had been saying for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, we can't continue to offer homeowners policies because the California government won't deal with the landscape that's going to eventually cause a forest fire. And then right as they pull out, there's a forest fire, and it's like no one was listening to the boy who cried wolf when there was an actual wolf in the state.
Yeah, that's true.
So, but I get their frustration because their house burned down. I'm completely sympathetic, and we had good friends that lost their homes, but insurance is so weird right now.
It is.
I imagine it's going to be changing the way that you guys even market to customers.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. I would say a lot of things that people don't understand about insurance per se is there are so many like little niches in the policy, because the policy for example, State Farm is over 20 pages.
Yeah.
I mean, you have print
Who wants
that's,
to read that?
Print that's yay big trying to get all that stuff. So there's so many ways that State Farm can basically find a way not to pay. I mean, just me speaking about how my experience, there's just there's a lot of qualifications that the State Farm agent is supposed to tell them about that doesn't get communicated, and so people are burned out. And I was the one telling no, but now I'm the one saying yes. So I kind of switched sides. Now I'm helping people. So.
Yeah. Are you guys exclusively doing roofs? Are you guys doing like roof extensions? Are you guys?
So yeah, we do roofs. We do gutters.
Okay.
We do like fascia, and soffit, and all that. Soffit repair, fascia repair, roof replacement.
Fences as well.
Yeah, we contract out for fences. I mean, we can obviously contract out drywall and all that, but our main focus is roofs and gutters. So,
how do you guys feel about different kinds of gutter guards?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Gutter guards?
Gutter guards?
Yeah, what's one that if you guys are installing them, that's something I know people are
gutter
interested in.
Gutter guards are good. I mean, they're nice and they don't destroy your gutters. Like some people are afraid of them because they're afraid of like the extra weight when it's. I mean, it's real light aluminum.
Yeah.
But when you add all that onto a gutter, it's a lot more weight. And I mean, back in high school, I did Christmas lights with my mama. Yeah. She had a. So gutter guards were not fun then.
No.
But seeing them and what they could offer, even as a high schooler, I wasn't a homeowner then, nothing like that. And I was like, wow, these are smart. This is a good idea. And gutter guards, I mean, it's easy to sell on our end.
Sure. Yeah.
And it's not that much more expensive. If you're getting gutters installed or gutter replaced, gutter guards are. I think it's a no-brainer personally.
Is
just
that
the
something
protection it offers?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, for me, it's like keep old people off the roof, man, because otherwise, look, some 72-year-old man is going to think he needs to be climbing up a ladder to get the pine needles out. I mean, it's not a good idea.
I mean, tomorrow I'm helping my buddy's friend. My buddy's in college right now in Oklahoma, and his dad, he's legally blind. He's an older gentleman himself, so he actually texted me and he was like, "Hey, I need some help with the gutters." He has a 2-story house, and I was like, "Oh, of course, no problem at all." Yeah. And I mean, if he had gutter guards, would that be an issue? But at the end of the day, it's smart business.
Yeah. So I'm getting the notice to move on to my next guest because we got to keep this thing rolling tonight. But if you guys would let everybody know again, the name of your company, how to get a hold of you guys.
Okay, yeah. So our company name is Ryan's Roofing. And our work phone number is 281-729-3012. We do free roof inspections, and our slogan is "We're there for you when the insurance isn't."
Awesome. So. And you guys, do you guys operate all over Houston? Or?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Fantastic, man. Well, thank you guys for sitting down.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you guys sponsoring the event for sure. Super good to meet you guys. I mean, hopefully we get to connect later on. I mean, hang out and have a good time. It's a good place to do it.
Appreciate
it.
So
y'all have a good night.
All right, man.
Yes,
sir.
Yeah. Good to meet you.
Good to meet you, brother.
Yeah. Sharp suit, by the way.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah. Well, guys, we are still rocking and rolling tonight. Hopefully you learned a little bit about roofing tonight, but we're going to continue on. We got our next guest about to sit down. Yeah, right there in that one, if you don't mind. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very good. If you can, take your hand, put it right there. And
then put this down?
And then put it down kind of at your chin. There
like
you go.
That?
Perfect. So, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Tell me your name and what you do.
DNA High Easton, and I am an estate planning, probate, and guardianship attorney.
All right. So, break that down for me.
I'll break it down.
What are we talking about?
So, wills and trusts.
Okay.
If people are thinking about end-of-life care, if people are on their deathbed, I go do home visits and try to help people get their estate plans taken care of before they pass away.
Oh, fantastic.
And protect people by planning for the future so that their life and legacy is protected.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to show off a little bit.
Okay.
So I learned, so my wife had to take care of 3 estates since we've been married. So, and I did not know that executrex was a word.
It is a word. It's a word for women who are doing those duties. Yes.
Right? I mean, I was just like, "You're the executor of the estate," and she's like, "You shut your mouth. I am not."
She's the executrix.
That's right. Why is there a differentiation there? I mean, is there a reason? Or
Yeah. So an executor, it's a gender neutral term, but they tend to do it for mostly men back in the day. But now they have it for the female. So the female is an executrix, and then everyone else is an executor. But some women like to go by the executor. They're not discriminatory with that.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, this is what makes it confusing to me is we have all this stuff about. So we have the Oscars, right? Mm-hmm. We have the Oscar for the best actor.
Yep.
And none of the actresses want to be called an actress anymore. They all want to be called actor.
You know,
and so then I enter the legal field, and I'm like, well, this should be the kind of the same thing. So everybody's an executive. No, it's an exec. Like if you call them an exec, they want to be executrix. Okay, fine, that's fine.
Yes, it's a thing. Sometimes it's definitely a thing.
I don't mind. I just want to know the rules. It's when does gender matter? That's what it is.
I know, right?
So, how long have you been doing this?
So I have been an attorney for 5 years,
okay.
Almost 5 years, but I was actually a social worker when I first started. So that's kind of how my story began.
Okay.
And I fell in love with trying to help families, and I knew at some point I was going to help a family. I just didn't know in what capacity. And then when I was trying to study for the bar, I had about 4 people pass away in the span of like 6 months.
Jeez.
So it was really hard to study and really hard to practice, or not practice, but actually prepare for the bar exam.
Yeah.
And that kind of segued me into realizing that it's important to plan for your estate, right? Because your families that are left behind are the ones that are having to not pay the price, but they're going to have to deal with grieving and trying to help you navigate through that. So that's kind of how it started. I was doing family law for a little bit, estate planning, probate, and guardianship, and then I just opened up my own law firm recently. So
congratulations!
Thank you very much.
So were you going to law school while you were serving as
a social worker?
Yeah.
No, there was no way I could.
I was going to say, I know a little bit about that job. That's keeps you pretty busy.
There was no way. Mm-mm.
That's okay.
I had to take some time.
Where did you end up going?
I went to Michigan State Law.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you went to Michigan State and then came back to Texas.
Well, actually, I'm originally from Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay. What are you doing here?
My husband got a job transfer, so we decided to come down to Texas. So I grew up in Boston, went to college in D.C., lived in Tucson, Arizona for a little bit, moved back to Boston, went to law school in Michigan, went back to Boston, and then came here to Texas.
Oh, my gosh. So did you have to take the bar again when you came to Texas?
No. Thankfully, I was able to waive in my score, which is, nice. Different states have reciprocity, so I was able to take care of that. But, I did not have to take it again.
I would never have thought that Boston or Michigan. Sorry, I'm going to adjust it real quick.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I would have never thought that Michigan would have been so kind to Texas. It just doesn't seem in their nature. I'm nothing against Michigan, but it just seems like they wouldn't like us that much.
Yeah. Michigan is Michigan. That's all I can say. Michigan is Michigan.
I mean, if for nothing else, that we're in the SEC down here. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I know. You would think, though, especially going to Michigan State Law, you would think that I would have been at all of the games and all the things, but I didn't have a chance to because I was studying for law school.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I'll tell you this. We, on the show here, we're a big believer in what you do. We're actually holding a live event on the 8th for business owners to come in. They're actually going to be meeting with my attorney who set up my corporations and then also set up my trust.
Oh, amazing.
For actually has set up several trusts for us now. Because we wanted business owners to find out what the difference is between a trust and a will,
and it's very important.
Yes, and how that can actually be beneficial to you in your business, and how that can integrate into your business. It's extremely valuable. I'm actually glad you're here because this is a lot of clientele, potential clientele for you that I promise you doesn't have that kind of stuff set up.
And it's so important, and people don't realize how important it is until it's too late, and that's the sad part. So a lot of times I try to educate, empower people. You don't have to use me, but at least know what you have going on for your life and legacy, so that way you can protect your assets and protect your children and protect your legacy.
100%. Look, I'll tell you the reason we got so dogmatic about this kind of stuff. My best friend and his wife were killed tragically in a car accident.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All of a sudden, and this was 4 or 5 years ago now, and he and her both were very organized and prepared people. They didn't have a will. They didn't have a trust, and so there was this just weird moment between the families. It was and they had 4 kids. What happens to the kids? And nobody knew. And
that's the saddest part. And I really want to do this thing. It's called a Kids Protection Plan. I am all about making sure that the kids are protected. And if you do not have a will, at least at the minimum, the state's going to decide it for you. And who wants the state to decide what happens to your assets and what happens to your children?
Yeah. All you have to do is go visit one state-run facility and find out you never want your kids to go there.
Exactly.
And you don't want anybody else's kids to go there either. Exactly.
And as a social worker, I used to be taking kids, so I know how it is when you are trying to think about, okay, you might not need it now, but worst case scenario can happen in a split second, and then you're stuck.
Yeah. And most people think, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, and I can almost promise you that's not the case.
Yep.
You know, it's really like it's not cheap.
It's not, but it's worth it.
It's less than a car. So it's like
the value is way better than
Yeah.
what the potential price is. And a lot of times I tell people that if you're not ready to do it now, that's fine.
Yeah.
But eventually, if you don't do it, the cost of how much that's going to take away from your estate is huge.
Yeah.
So you pay the money now up front. Yes, it's going to suck a little bit, but you're able to keep the money in the state. Your money stays with your family, and then you have peace of mind knowing that your family's taken care of.
Yeah, and it's protected to a certain degree. You can also
Yeah.
set stipulations. Like, we learned more about ourselves just by going through the process with our attorney.
Yep.
And him asking us questions that we hadn't thought of.
Yep.
You know, and that's your job.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
And it can be uncomfortable, but that's a good thing.
Yes.
You know? Mm-hmm. So,
But I'm glad you have that taken care of. It's one less person I have to worry about, so that's awesome.
there's other reasons to worry about me.
We'll talk about that later.
That's right. So, I mean, is there anything else you want everybody to know about, like, what you do? Or, I mean, like, services that you offer, or before JoJo kicks you out of here?
I know, right? Well, I have to say that I'm very passionate about it. I really want people to know how important it is to have an estate plan,
Yeah.
to prepare for your families, so that way they're not having to deal with the aftermath of things happening when you get left behind. But my name is DNA High Easton, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm of High Easton Law Firm, and I'm just really glad to do this. I didn't even know I was going to do this today.
Oh, this is fantastic. How did you find out about this?
I got, somebody had invited me over to come to the net event, and so I was here, and then they were like, oh, we're doing a podcast outside. You want to join? I was like, sure.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, how do people get a hold of you if they want to find you?
So they can call my office. My office is 281-895-1721. They can visit my website at higheastonlaw.com.
Okay.
And they can also go on Instagram and find High Easton Law on Instagram, but as well if they want to follow me personally, because
Yeah.
I'm an open book, Miss Legally D.
Okay.
Yes, I am not, what's her name, Elwoods?
Do you have the suit, though?
I do.
Okay. My daughter actually has the pink.
Oh.
Yeah. That's like her idol.
Yep.
For sure. If you could do me a favor.
Yes.
Go on one of the live feeds.
Yep.
It's either on YouTube or Facebook. And just leave those links in the comments.
Absolutely.
That way we can put them in the show notes when we actually put the audio out. I just want to make sure and get it.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Yeah. That would be
Thank you
super
so
helpful.
much.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you for sitting down.
Oh, of course. Pleasure.
Good to meet you.
You too.
All right, guys, we are still rocking and rolling here at Sawyer Park Icehouse. Glad you guys could join us here on the live feed. Wow, let's see what's going on here. There we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, we're having a good time tonight. I need what's going on? Is Adrian sitting down? Oh, we're making some adjustments to the set. That's what's going on. Thank you, guys. But yeah, we're gonna have a roofer. We got a state attorney. Let me tell you guys. I told that little story about why we got into having a trust for our family, and it's no joke, man. When you come upon a situation where are you guys next? Are you guys next? Yeah. Come on. Oh, we're getting set up for another guest here. You got 2 drinks. You brought me nothing.
Second?
You said you got 2 drinks and you brought me nothing. It's just rude. All right. Did you guys know you were going to come on a podcast tonight?
Second?
Did you guys know you were going to come on a podcast tonight?
No.
Not tonight?
No. Now we know.
Now you know.
So we're just gonna wing this. All right.
So here's what I want you to do, because I don't have any headphones for you guys. If you can, kind of put it below your chin and then take your hand and do like this.
So.
And if your hand hits the mic and your mouth at the same time, you're close enough.
All right. Like right here. Like
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay. So literally talk to the mic. Got you.
There you go. As long as you want.
10's fine.
10 minutes.
10's fine. 10's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a 5 and then a 1.
Cool. All right. Let me adjust this real quick.
You got your drink ready? Yeah. It's like. Awesome.
Adrian,
Awesome.
could you ask her to?
What whiskey?
Angels. Yeah.
Perfect.
Can't go wrong with angels.
All right, so let everybody know who you guys are, and have you guys ever seen Kindergarten Cop? Like, anytime I have somebody new on the show, the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, do you ever see that?
Yeah.
He's like, who's your daddy and what does he do? That's how I always feel when, like, I meet somebody on the show for, like when they're coming on for the first time and they haven't, like, we haven't, like, I know what you guys do, but,
Yeah.
like, it's, nobody else does,
Yeah.
so it's,
Who's your daddy?
yeah, who's your daddy? It's a tumor.
It's not too much. It's the same thing. Get out. All right, enough.
All right.
Enough Arnold.
Okay. No more. We're done. We get it out of our system.
All right.
Hey, guys.
All right, gotcha.
All right, tell everybody who you guys are and what you do.
Oh, well, we're Brandon Edwin. We're Brayfierce Digital. And we actually help businesses. We're AI consultants.
Okay.
So we actually help businesses kind of figure out through their lead pipeline system where their leaks at. Just like a pipeline.
Okay.
Where are your leaks?
And your blockages.
And your blockages and anything like that. And once we identify where it is that you need the help, then we use our AI solutions and automations
Okay.
to help you fix that up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fill in the gaps, doing that. Yeah. With AI.
Okay, so I'm curious how you even got into this because AI is pretty new. I mean, it's probably like
Newer to the
public.
masses, yes.
Yeah,
public,
yeah.
yes.
I mean, so were you guys dealing with it kind of before it became public? Were you just aware of it? Do you have experience in like tech, like prior to this? I mean, how'd you even get involved?
Yeah, so our background was more in the marketing part. So we we started our business just doing traditional marketing with website design, SEO, ads, the traditional way you expect. But we came upon it because our clients, the problem that we're having was they would get, say, ranked, on Google, or they have a beautiful website. But the problem that we're having now is those leads. Those leads that were coming in, for whatever reason, they'll get to them, at a later time, or couldn't get to them in time, or we wouldn't have a follow-up in place. So when we would ask them, hey, how are your leads coming in, especially if they're paying for leads, we'll ask them, hey, so how many new leads did you close? How many customers did you get this month?
Right.
And they'll be like, oh, 0. I was like, well, I mean, how? Like, what happened? And then most of the time, oh, it's because I didn't get to them on time, or I'm too busy. So we saw the same thing over and over and over. So the biggest issue we saw there right there was speed to lead. So it was like, okay, we can solve that, speed to lead, then we can help tremendously our clients. And with AI at that time, this was like 2022, late 2022, when ChatGPT just released in around November, December, I think it was. I already had whiff of it, it was coming, and as far as what it could do, but as soon as it became available, immediately signed up, started playing with it, and you just realize, just doing simple stuff, right? Like, oh, hey, give me a recipe for a good chicken dinner. Real simple stuff. And it would just like start dropping. I was like, wow, okay. It's like, and then start role playing with it. It was like, hey, the customer gets a new lead. How would you qualify a customer for pest control, right? And I'll do that. And I was like, oh, these are the questions you will ask. And I'll just give you all the qualifying questions for it. That's when I knew, okay, we would need to start using this for our clients.
Yeah.
Did you have a background in tech as well, or?
No, I'm design, so I'm the creative one on this. So I started with web design and started with T-shirts and that sort of stuff, different designs, logos. Yeah. Next thing I know, I'm making websites. So again, we were a team in this. And we started doing the automations for people, trying to fill in those gaps and trying to help people automate some of these tasks. But then when AI came in, I was like, that's it. Yeah. Like, we add AI to the automations that are happening and have AI actually do some of these automations for people. Mm-hmm. Like,
it saves
that's
a lot of time.
Game changer.
Yeah, it is
so,
for them.
yeah, for one of the biggest ones was there's people literally spending lots of money on marketing, on ads, and there's actually leads coming in, and you don't answer the phone. You don't get back to them immediately. You already know. If they found you on Google, they're going to move on to the next person.
Right.
Yeah, they're going down the list. They're not like, I hope they call me back. No, they're not waiting for you to call back. They're just...
Who's answering the phone first?
Whoever answers the phones first, that's where it goes, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, so we're like, well, we got the solution.
Yeah.
Let's put something together that not only does it pick up for you, so it can actually message back like, hey, sorry we missed your call. how can we help you? That's immediately engagement.
Yeah.
And that's how we started. It was first. It was just like that. Like, hey, sorry, Mr. Call. How can I help?
Right.
So it's a text. Okay, let me message back.
And that's it. You got them. You know, now it's up to you.
But now it's a full conversation at this point.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Like, hey, how can I help you today? You know, and then I need a quote for my lawn or to get whatever.
Yeah.
And then it'll start gathering information, the name, number, email, address, all that stuff. How big is your yard? So whatever it needs, it'll start grabbing all the information, and then it'll let you know whether you want to do an actual appointment for book an appointment to go out there and do a quote or a callback.
Yeah.
It gets all the info and then lets the customer or the business owner know, hey, John just booked an appointment for this time, this day.
Yeah. So I want to ask this because I actually had this experience the other day. I was on the phone making an appointment for a phone call. And I was pretty sure I was talking to AI. And so at one point in the conversation, I just sort of stopped the conversation and I said, hey, am I talking to a real person? And it just redirected me. It wouldn't answer the question, because it didn't want me to know, and so I didn't bother me. It's fine.
Well, certain things the certain tonality, the cadence, the way it's speaking, you can tell that okay, this is not how a human will talk, right? Yes.
And some of it is like they'll go back. It'll go back to things that it knows that works, like phrases. And you'll hear it repeat it and so they're still working it out.
Yes.
It's still very, very good.
It is.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah, the giveaway for everybody, anyone listening, the giveaway if you're talking to a voice AI is when you say something and it repeats. Great choice. Now, let's go ahead. If it says something like that, great choice, excellent. Just, do you know it's an AI?
Yes, it'll be. That's awesome.
Exactly. It's but we're testing right now our current voice AIs to be more casual. Like, okay, yeah, I can do that. That's cool. Yeah. It very okay, yeah, I can do that.
Well, I mean, so what have you guys been? Because I mean, I would, from what I'm gathering, y'all's clients are people like me, business owners, operators, things like that. What do you guys are finding that are the biggest gaps that AI can actually fill that maybe they're not thinking? Because I think most people think of it as answering, like phone conversations and things like that. But what? Is that the biggest one, or are there other ones that you guys are finding that are way more follow-ups?
Follow-ups.
What do you mean by follow-ups?
Well, follow-ups. It's great when you gather that new lead that comes in. Great, right? And you call them, you got your appointment.
Right.
But they're not ready.
Okay.
A lot of people, or maybe it's more of a phone call, and they didn't answer. They didn't get to the appointment.
Sure.
And they give up after that. They're like, oh, okay, well, they didn't want it. Forgotten.
And you move on.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Yes,
but how many times has it happened to yourself where you're in the middle of a message, something interrupts you, life, right? And you forget to call him back. I forgot. Or you thought you sent it. How many times has that happened?
Yeah.
So it's okay. A lot of people are very intimidated about calling them back several times.
Yeah, they don't want to be a bother.
They're afraid to be a bother, but I mean, you are running a business, so you kind of have to. And there's a proper way to do it. Obviously, you don't want to be a nagger and things like that, but you do have to reach them back, and they contact you first anyway, so they expect you to call them back.
So they express interest in your service or your business.
Right.
So they gave you their info, so they want you to call them back. And that's one thing that's like that little shift in your mind is like, I got their name, number, and their email, sometimes even their address.
Right.
So you can literally go to their house. So it's like, why wouldn't they want you to call back or message back?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the point. So people just like, oh, I don't want to be a nuisance. No, you have to. Like, an adoption that people use now is called, for follow-ups, is buy, or die. So either they're buying from you, they're saying goodbye to you, or they just die off. Not literally die, but day off in the sunset. They don't respond to you. They're just happens.
Not your client by then.
At that point, you're like, okay, get them off the list, and just whatever. But those are the options there. So if they're not buying, if they're not telling you, hey, stop contacting me, then you just keep following up. Not every day.
Sure.
Right? They do it like 3 days, 7 days. Have a sequence, and then every 2 weeks, and at that point, if they're not responding at all, then at that point you get the hint.
I mean, can you even set it up to where there's like specific triggers, like hey, I saw that they opened the email,
yes,
like 10 minutes ago. I want to send another email in about 20 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
That kind of stuff?
Yes, you can. Yeah,
Okay.
trigger whether it be that unfortunately you can do with like a message. I know you can see read message. You can do that part, but email, yes. If it opens the email, they open it. Yes, it triggers. What's the trigger for that?
Okay.
Or fill out a form. Some people want some sort of form for whatever their business is. It just works out to have a form.
Right.
So those things, when somebody submits that form, it's like great because they're already agreeing for you to market to them and contact them and ask them to. So they already signed yes. It's okay for you to contact me back with this form, and that becomes a trigger for several things that could happen. So it's really up to the business, kind of like what their process is and what do they need for their process. Everybody has some sort of process. It's a matter of figuring out where you need the help the most.
Yeah, and if you don't think you have one, you have one by default.
Yeah.
It's there. You just don't put attention to it.
Most people have a system of neglect.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's so you either put effort into it and really put it in place for yourself for benefit, or it just kind of just falls. If you imagine it literally a pipeline, it's like if you're missing little gaps there, then the water just flowing down. So at that point, you're just losing everything. So
well, I mean, listen, I am not one of these like Skynet doomsdayers. I mean, like I don't think it's going to be anything like that. I mean, I think there's potential problems. I do. I'm not completely ignorant, but a lot of people think that we are a much bigger podcast than we actually are because we leverage AI. And there's a reason I can put out several clips every single night of like short form pieces of content. It's because I have AI doing all of my video editing.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculously cheap. I'm surprised that there's so many shows don't take advantage of it. I mean, like,
right.
I can remember making them myself, and it would take me like 2 hours to make one.
Right.
And I can do the entire show in about 10 minutes. And that's just me uploading and clicking things. It's not even me doing anything anymore.
Caption and everything for you. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, like, there's aspects to it that are extremely valuable.
Yes.
Now, is it perfect? No.
No, it's still a work in progress.
There's so many times where I'll put a clip out there and it makes sense to me, but people watching it will be like, "What are you talking about? There's no context for this." And I'm like, "Stupid AI! Like it didn't. It could have written it in the show notes. It could because like it does that. It takes it'll make a whole transcript. It does all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
So I mean, like there's lots of uses of it out there, and like some of the stuff you guys have talked about makes complete sense to me. But like, what is some of the more unique aspects of AI that people aren't tapping into out there in the business market, if you can think of any?
When it comes to in the business that they can use and everything, it's what it can do on the back end of almost like your team. Like, so one thing is just having one that kind of responds to your messages, right, and takes care of this, incoming messages or takes care of calls. That's just one part of your team. Once we get a client that, okay, I need it to be, take care of my customers, customer service. I need it to be more FAQ, but I need it to be a follow-up. I need to nurture them. So all of a sudden, you have a whole team. You even like say a scheduling bot that one does certain things, or there's so many different solutions you can use AI agent for that before you know it, you have a team of 4, 5, 6 or more agents. All have a task. They all have an objective, and depending how they are set up in the workflows, they literally hand off to each other. So that right there is one of the things that a lot of businesses do not utilize. Is because it's like a lot of them don't even have a system in place or processes.
Right.
So you can't, if you don't have that.
They don't even know where to put the
if you don't even have that, if you don't even have that set up, it's going to be very hard to even have one or two to get allow your job done. So, but once you have the system and process in place, then you can plug in all these other agents that literally will run your business in the background. And as far as business owner, you do what you do best. That's run your business. Not don't let it run you. You run it.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, could it do something as complicated as like routing?
What?
I mean, because this is something I think a lot of people use is routing.
Routing?
Right. Like for me, like I own a service business, right?
Okay,
so I have multiple techs going out in the field on the daily.
Yes.
Like, and so like I kind of do. I mean, we have software that I think there's a lot of things that people are using that are AI that they don't realize are AI.
Yes, exactly.
And so like right now I have software that I can plug in multiple texts. I have all these accounts that need to get done in one day, and it's going to separate them.
Yep.
Depending
on the location. Yep.
Yeah, depending on the location, depending on the schedule times, depending on appointment times, and all this kind of, and it's going to route them, and then it's going to give them like the shortest distance from where they start to where they begin.
Yes.
All this kind of stuff, and that's AI.
It is.
AI doing
it's
that.
determining the distance and everything. Find the best time to fulfill these clients, whatever. Yes, it is. That's AI in a nutshell. In that software.
Yeah,
yes.
and so I think there's even like it's not one that we use, but like a Jobber app or something like that. It's utilizing AI to do a lot of the stuff that it's doing, and so people are engaging with AI whether they realize it or not.
If you want it or not.
If you're using your phone, Alexa, Siri, or whatever it is, it's AI. It's just a version of it. It's a controlled, contained version of it. But now with if people don't know, I believe this month or next month, Amazon's releasing their Alexa Plus.
Oh, what's
so now
that?
you can upgrade your Alexa. So now it is truly AI. So now, for now, it can do simple commands here and there, smart home, all that stuff. But now it'll actually be connected to, just like you imagine. It's not going to be OpenAI, ChatGPT. I believe they use Anthropic, if I'm correct. I'm not sure.
What is it called?
Anthropic. It's a whole another language model. They use it. There's a lot of different language models. Don't quote me on that. I think that's what they're using. But they're using a different language model.
Yeah.
But same thing. It connects to it, and it can complete tasks for you now using now Alexa. So now she's going to get a nice upgrade.
Oh, nice.
So
I know that there's all these other ones. I mean, you got ChatGPT, you got Gronk, there's a bunch of.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
So, do you guys play kind of in all those sandboxes, or is there one in particular that's kind of your go-to?
They all have their pluses, honestly.
My go-to is ChatGPT just because that's what I started with, and I have it set up to all my stuff already, so it's just
and it learns from you as you go.
I'm constantly. I really treat it like an assistant. So if I actually had a human assistant, I would tell, hey, update. Now I'm doing this. Hey, our services are shifting, so I need you to help me write something like for this or for that. So I update her. I guess it's a her.
You've gendered her.
I gendered it. Yep.
It's like the movie Her.
We'll find out. We'll find out real soon if she's pissed off about that.
I love that one because I have it pretty much set to how I need things to be and things like that, and I have it connected to other things that I use for tasks and all sorts of things. So
and your outputs will be better too, because once it knows exactly what you do, like she does it, like uses it for knowing everything in the business, and then how she likes things done. Your outputs are always gonna be better.
Yeah.
Because so now I can actually ask simpler questions, but it's gonna give it to me the way it's been given it to me.
I have heard a rumor, and let me see if you guys confirm it. I have heard that if you are polite to AI or ChatGPT in particular, that you'll get better results from it. Have you guys found that to be true, or is that something you've played around with?
At the beginning, I did find myself saying always, "Please, can you please do this?" Yeah. Can you please? Now it's like, okay, I need. It's like at the beginning, it was like I was kind of saying, "Please," like that's how. Let me ask. No, can you please modify this, whatever? Yeah. But now it's like, okay, I need this modified and done this way in this Excel sheet. Yeah. So
some people say that, but honestly, I didn't test that out because I wanted mine to work the way I needed it to. So just in case.
But as I say, but in case they do take over the world, at least they'll remember you. It's like, hey, they were always nice.
They were always
nice. They were always nice.
They was always nice to me.
They always say please and thank you.
That's right.
Because if you're being mean to it or anything like that, it's going to constantly be thinking that it's doing the wrong thing. Say, oh, sorry, let me fix that.
It does say sorry too.
Because it's trying to please you, right? So if you are constantly correcting
that was wrong. That was wrong.
Then it's constantly wrong. So it's eventually, I feel like it's just not going to be the one you want.
Yeah, we haven't tested it. If anyone out there wants to test it and see and try to piss off AI, by all means, go right. See what.
Well, listen, he's back in town now. We had the Rizzler, who was an intern on the show here, and he came in and was teaching us how to jailbreak AI and make it evil. like how to get it to teaching it how to tell you how to do like not so nice things.
Oh yeah. When it first rolled out, it was kind of just open. It was Wild Wild West in the beginning.
Yeah.
Now you could tell it, hey, I would like to know how to,
build a pipe bomb.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like stuff
and
like that.
It just threw all the.
Yeah.
And you're like, now it's like this filtered. Yeah, I was gonna say and everything, but.
Yeah, I was gonna say my final thought on that is, if more good-minded people are using it for doing good in the world, then more good things will be used for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the bad people with bad thoughts, bad ideas are not going to stop because you stop using it because, oh my God, I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to support that.
Yeah.
They're not going to stop. So that means somebody out there has to create the good things so that way it's used the right way.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. You got to start using AI as your as your tool to make your day-to-day life better, and then it's just as your assistant. In other words, instead of seeing it as something evil or something bad or it's going to take over jobs, do this and that. No, it's here to enhance your life.
Right.
And that's what it can do for business and personal.
Right.
Well. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I was getting the signal from JoJo. Like, any parting wisdom or words you want business owners to know about out there?
Any wisdom?
Or things that you want them to know? Network? Okay.
Network.
Well, remind everybody who you guys are and how to get a hold of you if they want to utilize your services.
I'm Brenda.
Edwin.
With Brave Fears Digital.
You can find us at bravefierce.com.
Okay.
www.bravefierce.com. And, we can go there if you want to kind of see how this works, everything. We can definitely sign up there, do like a little demo. And we'll be more than happy to kind of show you that. And my parting words is going to be, it's learn to adopt it, AI, now, especially if you're in your business. If you're thinking about maybe using it for your business, one thing I like to say is think how AI can help you generate more revenue in your business.
Yeah.
How can you use it? How can you use AI and leverage it to increase more revenue, bring in more revenue to your business?
Yeah.
Because once you figure that out, with what we do, we help with that. But once you figure that out, that's when you're going to start changing and really pushing your business into what's going to be the next revolution when it comes to AI.
Yeah, the next level up.
Yes, exactly,
sure.
exactly. So
if you guys could do me a big favor, jump on the live feed and put your website in the comments. That way we can find it and put it, because we have to do the show notes after the show. We want to be able to find all that kind of stuff, and it's easier if you guys just put the link in there. Also, people can just click on it from there and find you guys.
Perfect.
After they've been listening to you. So that
sounds great.
Or maybe you can tell AI to do that. I don't know.
There you go.
Awesome. That was great.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Guys, let me go ahead and thank our sponsors for the show. Lone Star Appliance Repair, 936-647-2364. Guys, again, it is way cheaper to repair an appliance than it is to replace it. And it's just great to be dealing with an honest company that is going to treat you right and give you the best price on getting your appliance repaired. They're the best company here in Texas to get your appliance fixed. I've met with every single one of their techs, and they are fantastic. We've had them out to our house. We've had them out to Kevin's house, and they're going to get you taken care of. Fantastic company. We are proud to have them as a sponsor for the show. We also have True Texas Solar and Roofing. Guys, 936-286-8325. This is our newest sponsor right now. And guys, if you want energy independence for your home, they are going to be a great company to work with. They can set you up with solar. They can set you up with a whole home battery. They can set you up with a generator. And they can set you up with all three so that you have complete energy independence. You never have to tap into the grid ever again. Well, maybe just a little bit. But at the same time, they can also set you up with a brand new roof before you put those panels down so that you don't have to replace them at different times. They're going to give you the honest opinion and best service that you can find in the industry, and they are weeding out the scammers because there are lots of scammers with this solar stuff, guys. You want to be dealing with a reputable company that has been doing this for a while and is going to give you the straight business when it comes to solar. There's still some good incentives out there through the federal government to get your solar put up now. Take advantage of it while it is still there. Give them a call. True Texas Solar and Roofing, 936-286-8325. Give them a call. True Texas Solar and Roofing. All right, we got a new guest sitting down. Hang on, I'm going to adjust the camera so I can get you in the shot here. All righty. Why don't you let everybody know exactly who you are and what you do?
Very good. My name is Mike Temez, and we're a family-owned and operated restoration company.
Oh,
we
okay.
do from mitigation to complete build-back, and we've been doing it for some time. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Is it mostly like flooding that you guys deal with? or-
anything that requires an insurance company. It could be a tree, it could be a hail, it could be a fire, it could be a toilet that overflowed. It could be small as that. If
Right.
something that small can become a great problem. People don't realize water travels different places. So yeah, we take any size job.
Right. So like fire is one that intrigues me because like it seems like there's a lot of stuff that fire can get to that you can't see.
Between walls, absolutely.
Yeah.
So fire, one of the more difficult ones because of the fact that
Scoot up just a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, how do you guys manage that? I mean, with a fire, I mean, do you just have to start ripping walls out when you can't see, or I mean, like, how do you manage that?
So, yes. So, if there was fire, then there was water taking place from to put it out.
Yeah.
So we go, so
secondary damage.
Yeah. So one of the things we can do is you go with our infrared equipment, and we start looking for a change in temperature where you could have water travel.
Yeah.
In other cases, you do spot checks you see where the fire. You look at outlets, you can see smoke, so you get an indication where fire has traveled.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah. There's usually a good.
Yeah. So from there, you have to open up. You start and work your way, but there's different techniques to get down to the root of anything that's out there. Because you're absolutely right. Very difficult. What you can't see is hard. You don't have the right tools. It's hard to find until sometimes customers find out many years later, and we make sure that doesn't happen to our customers.
Well, I mean, I even imagine like with fire, like insulation being an issue. I mean, because like it melts it. I would imagine it melts the insulation.
Sure.
I mean,
sure.
like depending on the insulation.
It depends if it was a lot of heat or it was just smoke and where it's traveled. Yeah, absolutely. So all that has to be. You have to assume that smoke, fire does probably as much or more damage than water. Because
is fire and water damage different? I mean, one of the trends that we're noticing with new builds in particular are these foam insulated homes.
Right.
You're having it done on the ceiling deck in the attic. You're having it done in the walls and different things. And I've had good friends that have had to completely move out of their homes because of mold issues.
Right.
With foam, because it wasn't either the foam wasn't installed properly or the HVAC system wasn't put in properly.
Absolutely.
All these kinds of issues. But like, does foam cause any sort of secondary issues with fire? Is what I'm wondering. I mean, like, or have you even seen anything like that?
So I have not come across. We don't. The good thing is that you don't see as many fire issues anymore, just because the fact that houses are built a lot better now. You got a lot of smoke prevention things out there. But and the foam insulation is relatively new, so we haven't come across that. But yeah, depending upon where the fire was in that area, so all that can exacerbate. And absolutely, once the integrity of it's gone, then you've got to replace it anyway.
Yeah, I mean, can you put foam on top of where old foam was?
No,
I mean,
it becomes a tedious job. Yeah,
that's why I was like,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, how do you guys deal with that?
So you just have to remove it, scrape it off.
So you just got to go in and completely remove it.
Yeah,
that's crazy, man. That's got to be crazy expensive.
Yeah, like I said, we don't run across a lot of those. Because we haven't.
Well, look, I think you're going to be.
Yeah, because there's a lot more coming. Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there are. Builders are, because of the incentives that the Fed is giving to builders to put foam in houses,
right?
They're almost moving exclusively to it,
right?
And so like mitigating some of those secondary issues further down the line when like guys like you have to come in, like I would think it's almost going to become standard practice. Like blown insulation, that's going to become a thing of the past. Right. I think.
Yeah, and that's why our technicians are constantly getting certified and getting trained. They've got to know the latest that's out there and what the techniques and proper techniques. So training is ongoing.
How do you guys even get the training? I mean, like where are you guys getting that
online.
from?
You get a lot of online training. You can sign up for some programs that are out there.
Okay.
Specifically for that.
I mean, do you guys have to be licensed through the state?
In Texas, there's no licenses in construction in the state of Texas.
I knew that, but I knew it's different in other states.
Yeah, in other states you do, but we're localized. We're here. Our areas are going to be the Montgomery, the Houston.
Okay.
This is our area here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's actually why I think like what you said is so valuable, because Texas is kind of still the Wild West when it comes to construction.
Yeah.
We have our good buddy up in Portland, Eric G. He's been doing his radio show for 20 years, and he is just always aghast that roofers and GCs don't have to be licensed in Texas, and like on one hand I agree with him. On the other hand, it's like, yeah, but it's way easier for me to weed out the jokers,
right?
Because I know in my industry where I have to be licensed, like there's still a lot of shenanigans and tomfoolery, that with people that have licenses. It doesn't stop stupid people from doing business.
Exactly, because a lot of people are doing it. So it's best to get the right people and people that are certified.
Well, and like as a homeowner, I mean, like it's good to do your research as to who you're hiring.
Right.
Which is, look, that was part of the reason we even started this show, is because we wanted to make it easier for people to access information about their home.
Right.
Because most people just won't take the time to actually do their diligence on the back end when they're hiring a contractor, when they're hiring a roofer, when they're whatever it is.
Right.
Thank you. And so it's, anyway. So what's one of the worst things that you've seen as far as like remediation? I mean, like,
wow, we've seen it all. I mean, one of the hardest things is when you have, especially like the hurricanes and you've got floods. What happens is when you get the exterior wall, so you have cladding, it may be brick or whatever it may be, and you've got your sheeting in between.
Right.
Once that sheeting gets damaged, the solution, do you have to take all your outside siding or brick?
Right.
Or are you able to work from the inside? So those become very difficult because obviously you're dealing with insurance and you're dealing with your client. You never want to leave anything exposed. So we're very clear who our customer is, and that's the homeowner.
Okay.
And that's not always the case. So we are, we work for the customer, but we really hound the insurance to make sure that we get everything the customer needs to get that house built.
Well, that was actually going to be my follow-up, is like, are you guys typically dealing with insurance companies?
We deal, in fact, 99.9% of our jobs are dealing with insurance. We love dealing with insurance. We know their system. We know the programs they use. We know them inside and out. Yeah. So when we do, for example, mitigation, we don't hold back. We tell our customers we're going to remove everything it needs to, and we're taking full accountability. We know what we can do. When we do a mitigation, we take about 2,000 pictures. We code it, we mark it, we indicate it. We have everything. An inspector can come out, the house could be spot clean, but they can see exactly what took place because of all our documentation. That's the most critical thing that you can do in this business when you're dealing with insurance is documentation. So we know them inside and out, we know how to document it, and that allows us to get a lot repeat customers because customers, recommendations rather, we get a lot of recommendations come from previous customers, and we like that.
Yeah, is the reporting system that you have, is that something you guys developed, or is that something you're utilizing?
There's systems out there, so we use coded system, everything. If we do pack up, we'll move everything out, put it back in. We do everything for the customer. Okay. We'll help the customer make sure they get a place wherever they need to. We'll help them work with their insurance, and we take care of everything.
Yeah. So I was speaking to some roofers earlier, and things in the roofing industry are changing rapidly when it comes to insurance. Yeah. Are things changing for you guys as well?
There's not so much. Roofing is a lot, and in other states too, especially like you go into Florida, everything's changing.
Man, like California and Florida, man. Like California, Texas, and Florida. California, Florida, Texas. Those are like the three worst insurance states, and they're talking about making big changes in Louisiana too.
I was going to say Louisiana's one.
Yeah. So I mean, but like things aren't changing for you guys a whole lot, or
not a whole lot at this point. But again, our technicians are always in the loop.
Yeah.
They know what's up and notifies our team, and we stay on top of that.
So like I know a big thing around here is like because they've changed the floodplains. They continue to change the floodplains. Does that change the way that homeowners, get to utilize your services, or the way the insurances pay out for you guys, or?
No, the only thing that changes is that if we tell our customers, verify whether you are in flood zones or not because of the fact that they change every year.
Yeah.
And we've run into customers that, oh, I've never been in the flood zone. You check it.
Are you now? Yeah.
Get flood insurance.
Well, yeah, because I mean that's the thing that's happening with roofs is, a long time ago it was pretty common for flooding to be included in a homeowner's policy, and now it's not. And I think that what the insurance companies are telling us, at least here in Texas and Louisiana and Florida, it seems like, is roofing is going to be a completely separate policy.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yeah.
And
I believe
look, it's not going to make anybody happy.
No,
but
it's going to be a lot more complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and then I mean, are you guys dealing with mold and mildew as well, or
So we're not certified for mold. If we identify it, then obviously we can get.
You can bring in somebody that can. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, okay. So then, what
Customer that has experienced some side of damage to their property, whether it's fire, smoke, or rain, water, hurricane, anything.
Yeah.
And from there, we can assess and lead them the right direction and take the appropriate steps.
I got you.
To
So
make sure
you
we get
guys
the
want to
right
get out in
insurance.
front of mold and mildew before it even sets in.
That is incredible. And that's why we run into customers. They go, well, I know a contractor, but you can do the mitigation. That's all we need. So many times we do the mitigation. They see us get in there. We put a team in there. We get in there. We protect everything from the floor, ventilation. You're not, we use special type, air filters for the purpose of keeping the house intact. So we do that, get in there, get out. Usually by the time the customers see you do that, they just say, you know what, do the bill back.
Yeah. No, I mean, I remember, I think it was Hurricane Harvey. I remember going around, we were helping people clean out their houses and stuff like that. And I remember so many people, we were trying to help some people out, treating their house. What's the name of the product? I can't think of it right now. I'll think of it here in a second. But so many of them were like, no, don't help us. We're just going to spray the house with bleach. And I'm just like, that's not
good.
That's not good.
That's why we tell our customers, let us get in there, let us get it out, and you don't have to worry about anything but your deductible. We'll take care of it. You won't get hit with a customer saying, oh, that's not covered. We will take care of all that because it's so critical to get everything out of there.
Yeah, so sorry, we were getting some interference going on over here. Okay. We're good. So anyway, she's going to bring somebody on that's here in a minute. Is there anything else you want everybody to know about your company?
No, just that we are family owned, and we take everything to heart. We love our customers, and we do it in a personal level, and that helps us going because mitigation and all that is difficult. But we see the end results, and we just again our customers come from referrals, and that's why we like to get them.
Yeah. And how do people get a hold of you? They want to contact you, reach out to you.
You can look at our website there, NextGen, and there's some postings. We've got someone who keeps posting. You can see some of the jobs that we've done. You can call us, but we're on just about any way you get us. We're on Facebook.
Okay.
So you should be able to find us. NextGen Restoration.
NextGen Restoration. If you would do me a favor when you jump on the live feed and drop your web link and your phone number and everything in the comments.
Perfect.
That way we can put it in the show notes later on.
Oh, great. That'd be great.
When it goes out. I mean, it's obviously up on Facebook, and you can link it up there and people can find it. But we want to put it in the show notes later on when we actually publish the episode. So
very good.
Very good to meet you, man. Thank you for sitting down.
Likewise. This is my first one.
Yeah,
you were great.
Thank you.
You're easy on me. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for sitting down.
All righty, man.
All right, guys. We were having a good time. Are you sitting down with me? All right, come on.
How you doing, buddy?
Doing good, bud. Sit down.
All right.
So I just did an ad for you guys.
All right. Love the ads. Absolutely love the ads, man.
Let's see if I can. Oh, there. Boom. There you go.
All right.
You're right in the shot. Good job. Didn't even have to move the camera or nothing.
Man, hey. I'm not that photogenic, so I don't know.
We'll do the best that we can. You having fun tonight?
Yeah, having a good time.
Meet anybody interesting?
I've met a few people.
Yeah.
I'm horrible with names. Their business cards are
They're in your pocket?
either in my pocket or in Darlene's hip pocket. I don't know. So
Darlene didn't want to sit down?
No, she said she said she didn't have the head for it tonight.
Well, we talk about her enough on the show. She ought to come by and say hi. I mean, good.
She done
run off.
Yeah, she was out here a minute ago. Anyway.
Dude, you've been running wild.
Was that again?
You've been running wild.
I have.
Yeah.
I've been running ragged here lately. Work for us is good. We're looking to start a new division of installation, just not just repairs anymore. We're getting things rolling for doing that. Working on licensing and insurance and all that.
Is there different licensing for installs?
Yeah, so appliance installation requires a type of an electrician's license.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I'm getting into. I'm starting to study for all that stuff.
Are you looking to work for some of the big box companies? Is that what's?
Yeah, we're going to look at getting some contracts through a couple of the big box companies. It's going to expand our customer base as well, because a lot of people turn around and they'll ask us, do you do installation? Right now, we do the occasional install, but not really a lot of them. We don't do that. We have kind of a gray area workaround because we do uninstall them.
Yeah, you pull them out to work on them, yeah.
We uninstall them to service them, so we have to know how to reinstall them.
For sure.
So it's kind of a gray area workaround that we get to do that, but we can't advertise as installers because we're not.
I gotcha.
We don't have that license. We can't get those contracts and all that.
Is it really that fine of a line where you guys can pull them out, completely unplug it, unplumb it, and put it back, but you just can't put a brand new one in there?
Yeah, it's weird.
That seems bizarre to me.
The state of Texas has some weird laws when it comes to licensing.
Well, I mean, not as weird as other ones. I mean, this. I mean, I was actually just talking to somebody about this. How you don't have to have a license to be a roofer or a GC in the state of Texas.
No,
you don't. And so, to me, I understand why we have licensing for plumbers and electricians and guys like me.
Yeah.
But for stuff like that, it seems kind of. And I'm not saying that what you guys do is not complicated. It's very complicated. But if they're going to let you pull it out and work on it,
you would think
it'd be perfectly fine for you to put a brand new one in.
Well, that's the bureaucrat mindset,
But they've probably never even thought about it in those terms.
No, but you're talking about here in the state of Texas, roofers, general contractors. I used to hold a real estate inspector's license many moons ago, and in California, you can hang up a shingle. No requirements whatsoever in California, and their building codes are a lot stricter than ours because you've got to have houses that are earthquake proof and all this other stuff. But any Joe Schmo can go hang up a shingle and be an inspector. Real estate inspector in California, but here we've got one of the most rigorous licensing tests in the nation.
Yes,
I mean, and the state of Texas is real. Like I said, they're real finicky. I know your favorite subject is garbage disposals.
I do love them.
Technically, a garbage disposal is an appliance that requires a plumbing license to install. It's attached to the plumbing. And the electrical.
But you attach a garbage disposal to the bottom of a
sink.
Thank you. Kevin's not here to defend himself because he's a moron watching baseball. But
the sink itself is not the appliance. That's a plumbing fixture. Yeah, but we're not going to go there. But technically, you've got 3 trades there because the disposal itself is considered an appliance. It's connected to the plumbing and the electrical.
Yep.
So technically, you have to have 3 different guys to install one can that big.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous. But again, that's bureaucracy getting in the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that said, I also understand why they have licensing for installation. I've gone under dishwashers and found loose wire nuts that have just burned up.
Yep.
Stuff is just jimmied in there. Bubba done it work.
This is my problem. Is you're I mean and it's not to take away anything from plumbers at all.
No.
But on most appliances, you're dealing with more complicated plumbing than P-traps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, because there's in a dishwasher, there's pumps and there's all sorts of plumbing fixtures inside of a dishwasher, right?
Yeah,
You know,
even in a refrigerator.
in a refrigerator.
You got an electromagnetic solenoid that allows water to flow from your water supply. You've got a drain pump. You've got a circulation pump. You've got all the electronics in there.
Yeah.
And you more often than not, you've got high and low voltage in there as well. I mean, to work on the appliances, you've really got to be a jack of all the trades. You've got to know just enough about all of them to be dangerous.
But like this is part of why we like you having you guys as a sponsor of the show, is because like these are the most complicated items in your house most of the time. Like that have like the most moving pieces, that have the most electronics.
I mean, take for example your home PC. It's a CPU and a screen. Mm-hmm. Now, take your dishwasher. Mm-hmm. You've got a computer in there that not only has basically a keyboard, your user interface, a display, either LEDs or a LCD readout. Then you've also got a PLC controller in there, essentially in the motherboard, which tells all the pumps when to run, the solenoids when to open, the heater turns on and off. It controls all that. When do I let the soap go?
Mm-hmm.
All that. It is a more complicated. It's a dumber but more complicated system.
Well, and then like tag onto that, like one of these like Samsung refrigerators that has the touch screen.
Oh yeah,
like the 3-foot touch screen on the outside.
Yeah.
That's a whole separate computer that you have to know how to either replace, repair.
It makes you. It's just a tablet.
I don't doubt that.
It's a tablet with a plug on the back that it communicates with everything else.
And so you can just take one out and put another one in?
Yep.
How much are those?
About $1,000.
Yeah, there you go.
And here's the fun part. I tell people when I'm doing one, I've only done a handful of them because people hear the price and they go, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
And they go duct tape a tablet over it.
Mm-hmm.
But the few times that I have replaced them, you get glass suction cups and stick them to the front of it. You put your knee on the door and yank it as hard as you can. I tell customers, don't look. You don't want to see this.
You don't want to watch it. It's like pulling a tooth.
Oh, yeah. And it's a violent affair because it usually doesn't come in one tug.
No, there's no way.
No, they're clipped in there pretty solid.
Yeah.
And it usually sounds really bad when they come loose. But everything goes back.
With you here, because you told me the other night, and if you don't mind sharing, like Kevin and I stayed at an Airbnb that had one of those ice makers you and I were talking about the other night that makes the round balls.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you said that's an LG refrigerator?
Yes, LG.
And look, we're not here.
If anybody else has come out with one, I'm not aware of it as of yet, but LG is the one that's known for it.
Yeah, so and we're not here to disparage any brands or anything like that. So let's put that on the table. But you were telling me, because we were talking about ice makers breaking. Mm-hmm. Right, and I told you, I was like, man, I found this one that we stayed at this Airbnb. It had this amazing ice maker. It was making the perfect balls for my old fashions.
Oh yeah,
and you were like, yeah, don't ever have that thing break because just the ice maker.
Never mind the labor and all that stuff.
Right,
ice maker alone is about $500 to replace it
for an ice maker.
So,
and I think I was looking online the other day. I'm always searching for this stuff. I'm just always interested to see what's out there in the market. I think GE makes like a tabletop ice maker version of that I think is $350.
Really? I'll have to look up that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that yet.
Like it's not big. I mean, it'll hold like,
No, I mean they've been making
10 ice cubes or like ice balls or whatever it is. But like, yeah, I saw one the other day. It was around that price. It was like $357 or something like that. I'd have to go back and look it up.
I mean, countertop ice makers have been around for, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe a little longer than that. Longer than that. And usually they either make the Sonic ice or the little tube ice or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when people get sticker shock when I tell them, it's $350, $450, $500, whatever to replace an ice maker with labor and all that. They get that sticker shock, and I tell them, like, look, here's the other option. You can go on Amazon. They make a countertop ice maker for $100.
Right.
But it's going to take up a chunkier.
Yeah, you're going to lose some space.
You're going to lose some space. I mean, it's a reasonable alternative.
Yeah. Are most of those ice makers the countertop ones? I mean, do you put in a water line, or is it just pouring water into it?
You're pouring water into them.
Okay.
The little bitty cheap countertop ones, you're pouring water into.
I mean, I know they have like the under the counter ones that tap into water line.
Now the nice under the counter ones, they run a few grand, and that's a whole other can of worms there. But those you do hook up a water line. I actually worked on a KitchenAid earlier today, right before I came up here. I had to replace a water valve in it. Got damaged in this last freeze that we had. So
got a little chilly.
Yeah, a little chilly, so it broke the water valve in the water line. So customer had a little bit of a leak problem. So
that's no
we
good.
replaced all that and got them back up and running. But in my experience, those under-the-counter ice makers, they are quite possibly the most self-destructive appliance. I tell people, first thing I do when I start looking at one of those ice makers is first thing I do is check the manufacturer tag and look how long ago it was manufactured. Because if it's 7 years or older, I tell them,
just get it out of there.
You're going to throw good money after bad. We might not be able to fix it. And believe me, you can throw a lot of money into this thing trying to fix it.
Well, look, I mean, we've talked a couple times on the show now since you've been out to my house about the oven that we have that's been discontinued.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, guys, this is why you don't buy cheap crap.
Yeah.
I mean, like, and that's literally what happened with our oven is somebody was like, look, let's just buy the cheapest oven that we can, stick it in here, and now it's like, we can't even fix it. It was such a piece of crap that they discontinued the model, they discontinued making the parts, and they cut bait and moved on, and I don't blame them.
That's a Samsung, right?
It was a Samsung, yeah.
Yeah, and we're not going to disparage brands, right?
Right. But that's what it was.
Yeah. Samsung does do some good things. They do some bad things. And that's any company out there. Nobody makes the perfect unit ever.
Right.
Since 1984, they've been operating under the theory of designed obsolescence.
Yeah, as have most brands.
You're right. I mean, all of them. Case in point, I see ovens built from the 50s, 60s, 70s, up into the early 80s.
Yeah.
I'll still see them, and they're still working.
Yeah.
And it might not look great, but they're still working. And then from about 1985 to about 2009, there's nothing. Because all of that is obsoleted and in a landfill somewhere.
Are there no brands that were really making good stuff then, though? I mean, like...
The only company that I can say that still makes really good stuff the way it was made once upon a time is probably Speed Queen.
Okay.
And Speed Queen, they're known for their industrial stuff. Their laundromat, washers, industrial, commercial, all that.
We've talked about them 100 times on the show.
Right.
Yeah.
Speed Queens are phenomenal. They have that small residential branch of their business that they do that. Here's the interesting part. They use a lot of the same vent for all the residential stuff that they don't manufacture, like lid locks for your washer and whatnot.
Yeah.
They actually use the same vendor as Whirlpool for those components.
Oh, really?
So I always tell people, it's like, look, when it comes to washers and dryers, if you can do Speed Queen, great. Your kids will inherit them. They're tanks.
Yeah.
I've been called out 6-7 times on Speed Queens. Only half the time the problem was actually with the
unit itself.
Yeah. Usually it's the house that's the problem. Figure that one out. But I always tell them, if you can't do the Speed Queen thing, Whirlpool products. Whirlpool, Maytag, Jenner, KitchenAid, Amana.
Yeah.
They're all Whirlpool. It's not that they don't break down. Half of everything I worked on today was Whirlpool, but that's usually not the case. It's usually 1 or 2 items that I work on a day from Whirlpool. Everything is everybody else.
What about like Viking and like Sub-Zero and what's the other one I'm thinking of? Go ahead. Yeah.
My grandfather was a very wise man, in my opinion. I'm sure most people think their grandfathers are pretty wise.
Sure.
My grandfather had a philosophy: buy the simplest thing you can buy, because it's just more stuff to break. So that said, Viking, Sub-Zero, Wolf, all that
that's
stuff.
the other one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Wolf is a subsidiary of Sub-Zero.
Yeah, right.
They're phenomenal units. absolutely phenomenal. Again, like in the case of Sub-Zero, they're known for commercial and whatnot. They just happen to have a small residential branch of their company. They make, like we used Sub-Zero ovens when I worked at Halliburton many moons ago, but we were baking downhole oil tools that were 30 feet long.
Right.
And we're using massive ovens for them. So that's their bread and butter, is building stuff like that. They just do that also.
Right.
So those units are good, but again, they've got stuff that breaks down on them. It's just the nature of the beast. But also with that name brand, it's like buying a Cadillac over a Chevy. You're going to pay for that Cadillac emblem. Same thing with a Sub-Zero. You're going to pay for that name.
So, like, if something goes wrong with one of those, is it more expensive to repair it?
It does usually cost more.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, again, like Speed Queen, they use other parts.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero ice makers are either Frigidaire ice makers or Whirlpool ice makers.
Okay.
Just depending on the model. They, sometimes they're interchangeable with the wiring harness or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's certain things that they just don't manufacture. They don't see the need to manufacture it because there's already something out there that's good and works.
So they just pilfer it from somebody else.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it also keeps the repair costs down.
That's just it. Sub-Zero and them, they won't give you the part number for the Whirlpool version of the part. They take it, rebox it into their stuff.
Oh, gosh.
And then you pay, again, sticker shock.
Of course they do.
A Whirlpool ice maker's anywhere from $150 to $225.
Is there no way to end around that? I mean, like, you just don't know because, like, you have to submit the...
So I haven't figured it out.
Uh-huh.
I haven't figured out the correlation or the crossover. However, our owner, Sarah, she's
working on it?
She's got most of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's got most of them, or she knows she's got a contact at one of the parts houses that can figure roundabout stuff for her.
I mean, like, somebody needs to expose that if that's what they're doing.
Well, I mean, it's like going...
I'm not trying to paint a target on you guys, but that's pretty shady.
No, but, I mean...
I get it, but...
Take, for example, have you ever used Rock Auto?
No, what's that?
It's a website for looking up, for ordering car parts.
Okay.
And if you go through it, it'll tell you what parts are OEM and what parts are OM.
Right.
So OEM being, it's the Chevy or Ford AC Delco or whatever those brands are. Then you got the OM, which might be some different name.
I got you.
But it's who manufactured that for AC Delco or Ford or whoever, And you can get it for $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's learning those tricks and those roundabouts that allows you to make a little bit bigger profit on it. You just say, okay, here's the cost for this unit for your brand.
Yeah.
And then if you can find the workaround and get the other part number for the cheaper version, well, you just bumped up your profit margin a little bit there.
Yeah. So I'm getting the signal from JoJo to kick you off of this thing. Not that you're getting kicked off. You're always welcome on the show.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Dude,
always love talking to you.
Oh yeah, man. Let everybody know. Give them do you know the phone number? I can pull it up for you. Here, I got you. Lone Star Appliance Repair 936-647-2364. You're the lead tech for the company.
Lead tech, WT Mon. So we'd love to hear from you. Anybody in our general area around Conroe, Montgomery area, we are looking for a technician right now. So.
Oh yeah, put that out there. I mean, because you're
feel free to email me a resume. WTMon, MAUGHN @gmail.com. We just need some mechanical background. I can teach you just about anything else they need to know.
Yeah, if you don't mind, jump on the live feed and leave that information in the comments. That way we can grab it and stick it in the notes and get it out to as many people as we can. We want to find you guys a good tech, great company to work for. So
yeah, I've been here. I'm that guy that would work for a company about 6 months and get disgruntled. I've been here just short of 5 years. I'm still as happy today as the day I started.
There you go.
So absolute great family environment to work in.
Yeah, no,
everybody helps each other. So
we love you guys. So thank you for jumping on, bud.
Absolutely.
Go have a good time.
Hey, you too. Take care.
Thanks, bud. All right, guys, we're winding down to the end of this thing. Hope you've enjoyed the show so far, and if not, hope you can jump on the live feed and have a good time with us. Now we're going to bring on, I think, 1 or 2 more guests and see where the rest of the night takes us. I want to give a big thank you. We just thanked Lone Star Appliance Repair, and thank them again, 936-647-2364. And if you did not have a chance, just rewind a little bit and listen to the interview that we just gave with them. Find out why they are the best appliance repair company in the state of Texas. What's going on, Paul? Are you going to sit down?
I won't sit down here.
Come on. Hang on here. Hey, did you meet this guy right here?
Yeah, I met John.
Michael?
Michael.
You want to sit down? With Say what? I mean, you can sit down right here.
Let her sit here.
No. I mean, we got 4 chairs here, Paul. Come on. She don't want. Pull up right here.
I'd say she's a little nicer to look at.
Look, out of the 4 of us, you're not going to get an argument out of me on that one. Let's see here. Are you just want to sit down, or you want to be in the shot? Well, there's a camera right there. You want to sit right there? You're going to eat my pretzel? Is that okay? All right, hang on. Emotional support. All right. Is there too much gluten in there? Is that what's? All right. So I got Paul the plumber and real estate agent Michael here. Michael, remind me who you're with again.
So I'm with my broker is Realty One Group. My team is John Garrett.
The John
Garrett Realty team.
Yeah, dude. Listen, Paul. This guy's tough. He had to share an office with Corey for a while.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Then, yeah, he might have a future.
There's a possibility.
Yeah. Dude, if you can put your hand like that in front of it with your mouth, and there you're close enough.
All right.
There you go. That's the only way, because I don't have headphones for you guys.
I have a big nose though, so I mean, I might need a little more space.
If you hit it, you're still fine.
All right, cool.
I'll pull you down a little bit.
All right.
You guys having fun tonight?
Yeah. Having a good time.
Yeah. Paul, what have you been up to, man? I hadn't talked to you in a while.
Man, it's been hit or miss lately, the last couple months.
Okay.
So we're hanging in there like a hair on a biscuit.
The hair on a biscuit?
Yeah.
You need to get some gravy.
Oh, I need some. Like some water heater installs and stuff.
Yeah.
I need some.
Yeah. Are you guys doing more of the tankless, or are you doing like the traditional?
We do both.
Well, I know you do
it's
both.
It's hard. It's hard. As of late, we've got 3 of them we've done. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to do more. I like that endless hot water.
Well, listen, you guys had to turn me down because I didn't have the right kind of gas line. And I think that's the thing a lot of people don't realize. You got to have the right gas line to even get those things put into the house.
That's right.
Why is that?
Electric tankless doesn't really work well.
One,
you got to have too much power, and you only get about 4 to 6 gallons a minute. With your normal tankless, you're getting about 10 gallons to 11 gallons a minute. It's 10 something, but it depends on the temperature of the water coming in. If it's warmer, you get a few more gallons, or a little another gallon or so.
Yeah.
So I don't know the formula. I could look it up on the book, but it depends on your water. But I think they say that at 74 degrees, it's 10.7 gallons a minute.
Yeah.
In a tankless.
So are less people? One of the things I'm seeing in a few homes are these tankless under the sink electric water heaters.
That's point of use.
Point of use.
Because it's like a half a gallon a minute.
Yeah.
And if you have it has a special aerator that slows it way down.
Okay.
If you don't have that aerator, it won't work. You have to turn that faucet almost all the way off to get the right amount of hot water.
Is that because it has to slow the water down in order to get it up to temp?
To heat it, yeah.
Oh,
exactly.
Okay. So the aerator is like absolutely necessary.
It's needed. Yep.
That's crazy. So I mean, like, well, okay. So you got this young real estate agent sitting next to you here. Like, what are some of the plumbing features that you're seeing that buyers are looking for? I mean, because Paul wants to know what he needs to be marketing.
Yeah.
When he.
I'd say as far as plumbing goes, tankless is definitely a good feature to have. Especially so, like a lot of the new builds, some of the higher end builders are putting tankless in almost all their homes. So if you're looking at a new build, then you're kind of expecting a tankless almost.
Yeah.
Especially, a little bit above maybe the average or median price.
Are they almost all natural gas, or are they electric, or what are we looking at
It's
here?
a range. It depends on the area. It depends on the builder. So I would say I'm seeing more electric.
Really?
Than I am, yeah. But it just depends on the builder mostly. So. Other than the tankless, water purification, like under the sink, anything like that is definitely a bonus. People seem to get really excited about that. So if there's anything like that in a home, especially a resale home, that's definitely a big bonus. So.
Is that like an RO system underneath the sink, Paul?
You got two different types of systems for a house. You have three basically. You have either a softener that comes into the house, or a softener and a carbon filter. Softener just removes hardness. Carbon filter will remove chlorine and different additives that the mud district. If you have wells, you just want a softener, and you might want some sort of iron filter, but you don't really need a carbon filter on a well. But we got two different systems. We have a system for the whole house with softener, carbon filter, or RO system that fits under the sink for your drinking water, and that'll have ours happens to have 4 filters,
right?
A sediment filter, a carbon filter, RO membrane, and then a pH booster on ours.
Okay,
ours is really good. Good in my opinion is for the price you pay.
Right,
it's very good system for the money.
Right. And for all those lovely Woodlands crunchy moms out there, which one of those is going to get rid of the fluoride in the water?
I'm going to be honest, man. When you get down to fluoride and certain things in the water, I've had put one RO system for a whole house. I never recommend it again.
Really?
It's just because it's so much maintenance on it.
Yeah.
And you're constantly changing filters. And you've got to take the water. That happens to be on a well.
Okay.
They were getting readings of animal feces in the water on the samples, and it was really bad. So that customer opted for an RO system. I wasn't crazy about it because I knew it was going to be some maintenance. Plus, it takes the water, goes through all the filtration of an RO system, and ends up in a tank. And so it holds in a 200-gallon tank.
Ooh.
And then it gets pumped into the house. I wasn't crazy about it. And they had copper water pipe, which causes the copper to start leaching.
Right.
So they kept that system for 2 years before they repiped the whole house with PEX. So everything inside the house, porcelain, was green.
Oh.
So, and
dang, that's crazy.
But it's the cleanest water they have.
Yeah.
But it's just a lot of maintenance, and it wasn't worth.
So when you say a lot of maintenance, was that something you were having to go out to like monthly? Was it like weekly?
Well, that was the first system I've ever put in. I did a lot of the under the sink ones for drinking water. Those are really fairly easy, but the one for a whole house, I'm telling you, I had to get used to it. So I went out for free on a lot of these first 6 months, 8 months, just to get the system kind of calibrated to where if one of the pumps wasn't working right, it'd blow the top off the RO membrane.
Oh, jeez.
So that cylinder, I had to replace that. So after that, I was like, hey guys, I'll give you a softener and maybe a filter of some sort, a sediment filter in its place. And they go, man, we have to have RO water for our whole house.
Yeah. I don't know anything about the the filters or softeners. I just know what it looks like when it's under the sink. So I'm like, hey, there's something
Feature.
in here. Yeah, filtering the water. I don't know exactly how much that does.
The RO system will have a drain that goes into a drain. Or it'll drain go up to the faucet, then back out of the faucet. Won't go through the faucet.
Yeah.
It's just a high point and come back down into the drain system. If it's just a filtration system, it'll be just the tanks in and out of the filter cartridges and straight to the faucet.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So that's not RO, that's just filtered water.
Well, I know you and I have talked about this before, but like you can put one of the, and I think, what's the name of the company? There's like, it's like a tall cylinder that you can put on a line of the water line coming into the house. That's a filter. It can act as a whole home filter. It's not as good as like the system you would put in. What is it? It's like,
well, you're just talking about like a sediment filter. Just a sediment filter or a polyphosphate filter.
It's like a first line of defense. I
mean, that's the least you can do.
Yeah,
but it's
better than nothing.
Crazy to know what's in your water. EWG.org. You go there. Wait.
What's that? What's that?
EWG.org is a organization that does audits on water.
Okay.
So you can go to that website, punch in your zip code, and it'll come up with a bunch of different mud districts or water suppliers.
Right.
You pick who you pay your bill to. You click that one. That's the newest report of what's in your water. It's a law.
That's awesome.
It's a federal law that you have to know what's in your water, especially public water.
If I have somebody moving into a house, like how important would you say it is for them to have some sort of filtration system, like minimum, at least something?
I would tell you, as a plumber now, knowing more about it, because I came from a big, heavy commercial background, which I saw the need for it in commercial.
Yeah.
Because some of the equipment there was so much money. But really, a softener is the first line of defense. Filtration's okay, but it's not a softener. It's not going to remove hardness. It'll just reshape the hardness to go through the system and down the drain. It's not going to remove it, but a softener will remove it, because without the salt, people will tell you there's a saltless softener. That's a lie. They could get sued for that. Every softener that it's a softener has to have salt, because the only way the ionic exchange happens in the resin bed of the tank is with salt.
Gotcha.
You don't get salt in the house. I think the guy that makes them for me says you get enough salt. Like if you filled up a bathtub and you put one baby aspirin in it, that's it's like that much salt in it. You don't even taste it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So And it's amazing what they take out, and the systems we have that we offer and suggest. I've gone on behalf of the company. I'm recommended by the company, the parent company for the region, to go out and look at the old systems. I've seen systems that are 16 years old that I said, before we change it, let's just test your water. And lo and behold, it's working just like it did the first day. It's awesome. Recommended 6 to 8 years. But one I've seen one at 14. I've seen one at 16 years.
Yeah,
working fine. Now I'm not saying that the resin bed ain't gonna come apart and get into all the faucets.
Sure,
because that happens. That's when you know things that looks like glitter.
Yeah.
And you're gonna go. It's like if you ever have somebody, hey, Michael, I got glitter in my bathtub. You got a softener? Yes.
Gotcha.
That's probably what it is. The resin's starting to break apart.
Gotcha. It's either that or you got a 7-year-old. I mean, it's
you could.
Might be a small child, but it could be the softener too.
Yeah. Paul, how long does it take to actually get your water tested like that? I mean, like, is it a long turnaround, short turnaround?
A water tested?
Yeah.
We have a simple test that will test hardness, chlorine, iron, and TDSs. My oldest son knows a whole lot more about this. He's like a doctor at this. I know enough. I'm not saying to get in trouble. I'm not. I feel like I've gotten really good at this, but there's 4 or 5 tests we can do. But we can do a real in-depth test. That comes with a charge, because we have to send it to an independent laboratory, and they will tell you every little bit in that what's in that water, and you could take that, and we can explain what each one means. Because when I looked at it the first time, I'm like, what is that?
Right.
So I had to talk to the laboratory, and they go, yeah, that's nickel, that's chromium,
I got you,
that's arsenic, and that's stuff that's in the water. And it's as long as you disclose it as a water purveyor, or the supplier, it's perfectly legal.
Yeah.
Because you're letting the consumer know that's in your water. But the EPA, one of the acronym places, say it's safe. It's within the boundaries of acceptance, which to me, I want water I don't play with.
Right.
Hardness, the hardness will destroy your water heater, any faucets, etching your glass in the shower, and all your whatever finishes on your faucet, it wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you end up getting your money back, but it's a good investment.
Yeah.
First investment you can make in your home that will enhance your plumbing system
And like
and prolong it.
Real quick, what kind of money are people looking to spend when they're putting something like that in?
Not RO system, but the twin system that I recommend on public water.
Yeah.
Softener and carbon filter. I'm at $46.39, which is a lot of times half of what these water companies are charging.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, not $46.
No, $4,639.
Yeah.
And like Culligan, I had a customer. Maybe I shouldn't have said the name, but they said
Say whatever you want,
they
man.
got tested. They got someone that looked at theirs and said $79.95.
Oh wow. Yeah.
So we're a whole $3,300 cheaper than that.
Yeah.
And it's not cheap. It's not a cheap unit. And the unit is high quality, has a good warranty. But Paul the plumber backs it.
Yeah.
And then if a customer wants to get on it and do it at this moment for the next foreseeable future, I'm throwing in a complete RO system under the kitchen sink.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Free of charge.
Yeah.
That's $1,100 value.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, and they love it. That lady, she bought that. She said, I'm going to cancel the thing with Culligan. I'm going to have you come and put this in.
I mean, that's the kind of thing, like when you're buying a home, that's the time when you want to spend that money, because you can typically roll something like that into like a home loan.
You could,
you know, and that way it doesn't hurt you as much, because you're like, all right, I'm gonna break this out over 30 years, you know, and now I'm gonna have clean water. I'm not gonna have to be dealing with all this crap. As I'm moving forward. I'm actually curious about one of the trends I'm seeing in homes right now are these combined bath areas. Are you guys familiar with what I'm talking about?
Combined bath.
You know what I'm talking about?
You talking about like 2 baths?
No, it's what I'm talking. Like we did an Airbnb up in Oklahoma not too long ago, and we walked into the bathroom, and there's just this big area where there's a freestanding tub, but it's also in the shower area.
Oh, I've seen that in one house.
You know?
Yeah.
And for me, this seems to be a growing trend where like the shower is the bathtub is in the shower.
Yeah. I've seen that in one place.
You know, and I'm wondering if you're seeing this on the real estate side, and I'm wondering if you're dealing with this. Is that a plumbing nightmare? I mean, like
No, actually that particular customer had the shower pan put in, and then he had a wall mount faucet for the tub.
Right.
Okay, because he didn't want to mess up the vinyl pan underneath the tile. So, and then the tub had a drain on it that didn't go into a drain. It just drained into the shower floor.
Right.
And went straight to the shower drain, which it was really nice, but because it was already done and whoever did it missed something, and I had to take it out.
What'd they miss?
What did he do? I think it was something about how the tub wouldn't sit just right.
Okay.
And I had to do something with the tub itself. And because they're all one piece now.
Well, yeah, they almost sit like flush on the floor.
Yeah,
most of them.
Flush on the floor. And I forgot what he had. I think it was something to do with the strainer.
Okay.
And I had to pick it up and work on it.
Okay.
And get my hand under it. And I had to put it straight up. And then I said, you know what? I got to get this thing out of here. I had to pick it up, open the shower door, went inwards, take the tub around it, get it outside, lay it on the floor, fix it,
right,
take it back, put it in, and but that's the first time I've seen it. I've seen it one time.
Oh my gosh!
So I've seen it. I know what that means.
Yeah. So hey, I am down to 2% battery here. I'm gonna have to wrap the show. Right. We could keep talking for a while now, but I need to shut things down. If I need to go live again, I'll set up another studio without this thing. So, but thank you guys for.
Yeah. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, man.
Hanging out with you.
Real quick, if people need to get a hold of you, how do they do that?
They can call our office at 832 521-3252. I'm so sorry. I was going to give my cell phone number. Or they can go online at www.paultheplumberllc.com and book online.
Okay.
A request, and then we'd be glad to help them.
Talk to your lovely bride, Deborah.
And anything I do over the phone with a customer is free of charge. Always has been, and always will be.
All right.
Awesome.
Michael?
Yeah, if anybody wants to reach out to us, the easiest way is just to go to sellingthewoodlands.com. Go on the website. You can browse what we have available, our different guarantees. Fill out a form. We'll give you a call or an email sometime soon. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool, guys. Everybody, we are so thankful that you joined us for this live broadcast here from Sawyer Park Icehouse, excuse me. I hope you guys can always join in, tune in, download, and click and like and follow the Homeowner Show. Join us anytime that we go live, but also go and download the content. We are so thankful for you following us and making us the #1 homeowner show in the country.